Bowman here from BWOne.com. I'm going to give you my review of the Motorola Photon 4G for Sprint. Start off here with the hardware tour. The first thing you notice here is a really nice 4.3-inch QHD capacitive touchscreen display. It's a really nice display, colors are very sharp and vivid on it. You're going to notice that when we go through the software tour. I really like this display a lot. Right above the display is the VGA front-facing camera, earpiece, and some LED indicators. Right below here is your touch-sensitive area for menu, home, back, and search. On this side, you have your micro USB port and mini HDMI ports. On this side, you have your volume buttons and your camera button right there. On the top, you have a 3.5mm headphone jack and power button. Nothing here at the bottom, but it is the slot where you lift up the battery door to take it off. And we're looking at the battery door, reveals a 1650 milliamp hour battery, a pre-installed SIM card. This is a 3G global ready phone. And the micro SD card slot doesn't have anything installed in it now, but the phone does have built-in 8 GB of storage, and the card slot supports up to 32 GB of expandable storage. This is sort of a nice soft back touch to the battery door here. Kind of snaps back on like that. See there? Alright, right below here, you have your speaker, and you also have a kickstand. Kickstand will open up sort of like this little widgetized dock that is pretty cool, and just adds a little bit of flavor to it. And when you want to view content on the screen and you don't want to hold it in your hand, you can use the kickstand, obviously, and that'll be pretty nice to have. Alright, right over here we have the 8 megapixel camera with dual LED flash and 720p video recording. Now the images and video quality is pretty standard for a lot of Motorola cameras that are out right now, such as the Droid X2 and the Droid 3. It isn't something that's necessarily the most high quality out there. It's a good enough for uploading to Facebook, and video is good enough to upload to YouTube. There isn't anything that's going to blow you away necessarily. Disappointing that this only does 720p video. Hopefully they can send out an update just to get it to go up to 1080p, even if it isn't that much better. It's just nice to say that your phone can do 1080p video. You can check out all of our test pictures and video. The link is in the description where our full written review is, and you'll see our test pictures and video right there. Alright, so that's pretty much it in terms of externals. Internally, it does run a 1 GHz dual-core NVIDIA Tegra 2 processor. It does include Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, and Sprint's 4G WiMax capabilities. Now, software inside of here is running Android 2.3.4, the latest version, which is Gingerbread. And it has sort of this Motorola UX and sort of Sprint ID combined sort of UI here, and you're going to notice elements of both of them as we go through here. Now, as you swipe through the software here, I do notice there's a little bit of lag at times when swiping between different desktops. And I understand there's a lot of widgets running on here, but that's the whole point of having all of these desktops. So they need to figure out a way, when you're making the software, to not make it have that little bit of lag. It's noticeable, but it isn't something that's going to overall bother you, I would say. Sprint IDs work like what you've seen on the Samsung Transform, and it's also on the Conquer 4G. You can just choose which ID that you want. We'll go to Socially Connected. You can download more as you want to as well too. And it just pretty much has some pre-configured software and apps that are already on there, and it's going to kind of place it there for you. So you see here, you have the social network one here, and then you have like a social networking widget. You have the Tweetcast up there. You can see all sorts of cool things like that, all based around social networking. And you can switch back just as easily like that to your original ID. We'll take a few minutes some time, a few seconds from time to time to kind of go through. There we go. Now we're back on here. You can see how crisp the display is as well too. What I was telling you before. It's really nice display to look at. You can see the angles are really good on it. I mean, overall, I really like viewing content here on the display. Video looks good. Pictures look great on here. So everything else as far as software is pretty much has that Motor Blur, but it's not called Blur anymore, so that user experience over it. You have your standard drop-down menu right there. And if you have different notifications, you'll have the little sign right next to a little stop sign next to it. You can X out of them individually if you want to. As far as pre-installed applications, it's kind of what you would expect. You have mobile hotspot, so the Sprint's mobile software installed on here. Just launched that by accident. Head on back home here. We will open up the menu again. You can see has Express Horoscope, NASCAR. Some of those ID packs will also install some software on it as well too. You have Sprint Radio. You kind of get the idea there. You do have Motorola stuff like social networking and stuff like that, which includes all your social networking messages sort of in one little inbox there and things of that nature. And you can organize the applications around too between recent, downloaded, Sprint, and you can add a new group as well too. but it doesn't have sort of those fancy sort of animations and stuff that the Droid 3 has, which is running the same version of Motorola. So it seems like there's some fragmentation between the different versions of Motorola now, not just within Android itself. So this is the camera application here. It's okay. I don't really care for it that much. It could be a little bit more user friendly, but you kind of see your settings there. You can switch from video and you can switch from the rear to front facing camera just like that. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of the application, and it crashed on me a few times to the point where I couldn't even load it up. So I have run into a few bugs here on the software, so that I'm pretty sure there'll be a patch to update some of these little bugs that I've been finding within the operating system here. But overall, it does run pretty well. We'll open up the browser here just to give you an idea. We're at the mobile version of BWOne.com. We'll head over to another site. So we'll try to go to let's go to ESPN.com. Let's check out what's going on in sports. Google search ESPN. This is the standard Android browser. I know a lot of people like to see sort of how the browser works on here. Open it up. It's on 3G currently indoors here because the 4G connection, 4G WiMax doesn't work very well in the building that I'm in. We'll swipe down here at the bottom. We'll try to go to the full ESPN.com website. Alright, as it loads up, show you sort of the responsiveness with it as well. It does support Flash too. So you can see it's loading up the site there. Renders it pretty well. And see here for some of the heavier sites, the scrolling isn't as smooth. And you do see a little bit of lag here and there, but overall it does work as it's supposed to. Rotate this over here. Show you how it looks in landscape mode there. It's pretty nice. Alright. Show you the keyboard as well too. I don't know if you saw that there. We'll go back one. The keyboard, you see you do have the option of the standard Motorola keyboard, but then you can also switch your input to swipe as well too. So you do have swipe functionality on it as well too. So you can do a little swipe thing. I don't even know what I spell. Stock, I guess. Check your stocks if you want to. And I don't know, a lot of people want to check the stocks nowadays, but you kind of get the idea there. So alright, that's pretty much kind of what's on here in a nutshell in terms of software. Battery life is pretty good on the device. Motorola has been doing a very good job of getting better battery life on Android devices, especially when using, let's go into settings here to show you the battery manager mode. You definitely want to make sure you set this mode to your liking, so you can also set up custom settings to it as well too. This will really help you in getting that 2 days worth of battery life on it there. If you're a very heavy user, you can probably go on 1 full day's charge. Moderate, you'll probably be able to get 2 days, and you feel like you're not gonna have to charge for a little while on that. But make sure you set the battery settings within here, so you make sure you want to do that. Also, the call quality is also great in here as well. People could hear me well. They said it didn't even sound like I sounded I was on a cell phone. Did save the speakerphone, however, I sounded pretty distant even if I was right next to it. So, but then that, the call quality was great on it. So that is the Motorola Photon 4G. It kind of reminds me a lot of the Droid 3, but without the keyboard, and obviously the 4G data connectivity is included in this, and the Droid 3 doesn't have that. I definitely think this is a great phone. I think this is Sprint's new flagship phone. I think this is surpassed what the Evo has to offer, especially the Evo 3D, which they were kind of aiming to be that next step. But I think this kind of surpasses that by far. It has better battery life. It has a better camera on it as well too. And it's really your preferences pretty much are between if you like the sort of this combination of the Motorola interface and the Sprint IDs versus HTC Sense UI, which is on the Evo 3D. And you do get 3D video recording with that as well too on the Evo 3D. This is just standard, but I think this is pretty much going to be the best phone that Sprint has to offer as far as Android is concerned right now. I definitely like it. Have to give it a thumbs up here. And if you're interested in getting a Photon 4G, don't hesitate. It's definitely a good phone. You'll run into a few bugs here and there and a little bit of lagginess, but it's stuff that can definitely be improved with updates and so on. But Photon 4G, definitely the way to go. So this is Bowman here from BWOne.com, reminding you, subscribe to our YouTube page, follow us on Twitter, become a fan of our Facebook fan page. Also check out our full written review. The link to that and all of our social media is in the description. And always remember to live your tech world in high definition.